Over the last few years, maybe after the Legion of Monsters, a couple of books that you guys did, it looks like you've been interspersing a little bit more every year your supernatural characters. Dracula in particular, it seems, in Monster Size Hulk and Captain Britain, and now of course X-Men.
Yep.
But you've got the Man-Thing, you know, in Thunderbolts, and a whole group of monsters working with Frankencastle. And so I'm just thinking, going forward, would we see, is there a plan for those groups of characters, maybe Dracula in particular, with a dedicated title like your old Tomb of Dracula, or if this is some experimenting you're doing with your books, and if there's a thought going forward, if they really kick in and people seem to be buying more and more of them, what the plans are for these characters?
Yeah, you know, this is very much, I see it also very much in the same way that we see the cosmic universe with supernatural and magic, where we're starting to dabble more and more in those characters as you know, as our core titles have gotten stronger. Dracula in particular, and X-Men. I mean, Axel, you can probably talk a little bit about that, but you know, Axel just started looking at Dracula one day and realized there's a lot of potential with this character that we can start building him up as a major league Marvel character. So.
Yeah, I mean, many of you might know right now, X-Men #1 is out on stands, and the hook is Mutants versus Vampires. The X-Men who currently live in San Francisco look up and suddenly they realize they're surrounded by vampires, a unified vampire nation that has come to San Francisco with Magenta. In the weeks before that, we published a one-shot called Death of Dracula, where you saw Dracula's upstart son, Xeris, kill him, a la Caesar, you know, and we're world building here now. We really have big plans for vampires, the Vampire Nation. We try to explain how, you know, the vampiric sects they don't all necessarily get along. They're not all the same. It's sort of like humans around the globe. They don't necessarily like one another. But once you've unified them, what can they do? Ask Custer, you know, after the Indian tribes got together. The X-Men face some huge problems over the next few months, and it's kind of the tip of the iceberg where we're going with Vampire Nation.
Thanks a lot.
I can also tell you that working with Ed McGuinness every single day, the question is, so can the Man-Thing be in this? Can we put the Man-Thing in the story? I'd like to put the Man-Thing in the story. Right. And with Arthur Adams, it's just any monster at all.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Hello.
Hi. I have so many questions, but I have to keep it to one. There's always been a long history of comic book characters being portrayed in other media, you know, whether it's the Hulk or X-Men or Spider-Man, being in TV shows, cartoons, full-blown movies. And they've been met with varying degrees of positive fan response. But you guys, as the creators of these characters and the keepers of their legacies, how have you felt when you've seen these characters portrayed in other media, and you know, how much control and input have you had into those other media portrayals, and how have you felt when you've seen something not go the way you want? And now with this Disney takeover, how do you think that will impact your ability to tell the stories that you want to tell, and have your characters portrayed the way you would want them as opposed to the way Disney might?
That was a brilliant 7-question question.
Right. Well, again, the Disney merger has not affected how we tell our stories at all, whether it's in movies, eventually television, animation, or in the comic books. So we retain full control of all that stuff. You know, it's sometimes it is frustrating with the movies that aren't coming out of Marvel Studios in the past, where we see things and we go, oh, you know, because we don't have a lot of control of
Wolverine.
But with the Marvel movies, we're all in. You know, we all have a say in what's going on. You know, for example, with Iron Man 2, Matt visited with Favreau and consulted on that movie. As we move forward, the Marvel Creative Committee, which Brian is a part of and I'm a part of, we've been consulting on Captain America, Thor, Iron Man's 1 and 2, and other upcoming movies. So it's a very collaborative process. None of this stuff at Marvel happens in a vacuum, and it's very, very similar to what happens when we all get together by committee to decide what's happening with the Marvel Universe in publishing. So that's a much less frustrating ordeal for us, because we feel that's Marvel on the screen. But in the past with other movies, it has been a bit frustrating. And, you know, it's just a price you pay. But you know, then there are other movies like Spider-Man that you look at and you go, wow, Sam Raimi got it perfectly right.
Thank you.
I also, just to throw in here, you know, Joe, when you talk about how Disney isn't, you know, allows us to be sort of Pixar, I think one of the things that you and I have talked a lot about, particularly over in television, it isn't even just being left alone. In many ways, they're empowering us. In many ways, they're saying to us, we will make sure that what it is that you want to do is going to be done properly. We're going to take the time, we're going to give you the resources, and with this vast organization that is literally worldwide is going to be behind you. So make sure that you have whatever it is that you need in order to do it right. So it's been really just kind of an amazing marriage.
Yeah, and there's a Raymond Chandler story where he was doing press and somebody said, "How do you feel about Hollywood destroying your books?" And he just reached behind him and took his books off the shelf. Books are still here, you know, like it's just as somebody without an alphabet soup after their name. My wheelhouse is the books, and all I can do is focus on making. If nothing else, I know that I'm writing the best that I can or trying to anyway, at any given moment. And that's, you know, the foundation stone of everything else. A movie is great if a movie is great, and if not, well, the book is still awesome. You know, like that's just sort of ultimately any of us can control. Anyone in you know that I can control.
You know, what annoys me about the Disney merger is that I remember being promised Mickey Mouse shaped Rice Krispie treats, and we have not seen them yet. I'm annoyed, to be honest with you. I'm out of here.
Hello, gentlemen. I recently moved into a house with a Marvel zombie, and I wasn't a big Marvel reader, but I picked up a book called The Young Inhumans, trade paperback. And my question is for Jeff. You're crazy if you're not thinking about making that to a TV show.
I'm not crazy, but it's way too early for me to talk about what we're doing in television.
Just remember, right here.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hey guys, am I too close? Anyway, my name is Michael. I own actually a comic book shop in Portland, Bridge City Comics.
Nice book.
Thank you.
I've shoplifted at your store.
Anyway, I wanted to ask Fraction and Bendis. Scarlett and Casanova have done extremely well in our store. We're really looking forward to Incognito from Incognito 2 from Brubaker. Do you guys have any more projects kicking around in your head for Icon specifically? And can Joe, Axel, or somebody speak about maybe any additional projects that'll be coming out teased?
Well, I was personally I was so nervous about the Scarlet launch. I had not released a new creator-owned project, even though Powers has continued over the years. I've not produced a new creation, and it wasn't a superhero, and I was so nervous about it coming out, and that response, that's the best response I've ever had on anything. I got more mail on that book than I've gotten, and including "fuck you for killing Hawkeye" letters. I'm telling you, I got more than this. So yeah, I'm totally emboldened to create more creator-owned work that I've been percolating over the years, and I've already told Marvel when and where they'll be coming out over the course of the year and in what format. So yeah, absolutely.
What about you?
Constantly. Yeah, that's my least favorite question is, when are you going to do more creator-owned stuff? And the answer is constantly. It's not been published. You know what I mean? It's just, the way my head works, it's all the time. So yeah, as soon as I can find a workable schedule, the response that Casanova has gotten from Icon has just been, at Icon is stunning, and also should put to rest any sort of, "Oh, Disney's going to ruin Marvel." Like, if Marvel's publishing Casanova, we're okay. But the response was so overwhelming, and it's so great.
And I got to tell you, I was surprised because it was previously published, and the response has been massive.
The reprint, the initial publication numbers by a country mile.
Yeah, congratulations, that's great.
Thanks for supporting me.
Thank you very much.
I'll come by.
You should get shoplift some more.
I'm going to stick an Absolute Planetary in my pants and walk right.
Thanks, guys.